Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Seaside Park, and um, it is actually just a complete new start for what will happen this episode. And yeah, as you can see, jumping straight into the video, no introduction bit at first with what I did off screen, and it isn't there because I actually, from the moment I finished the Scandinavian area, I just completely went on making this coaster, and I will actually give you all the attempts I actually gave for like this coaster, because there were a few, and also because I just don't know what to do else yet. So you just need to give me a little bit of time to think on what I can add to the coaster. So yeah, that's the reason why this is also put in here, also just to give me some more time to think of what I can do with this coaster and stuff, to actually finish it completely. And yeah, what you'll see me do here is actually I'm building the coaster backwards, which in the end turned out to be not that nice. I really liked the layout. It was just I couldn't make a good Immelman at the end to actually finish it, and I was so mad because my Wi-Fi just kept falling out, which you'll see in like a moment in this video, because it just happened like on the day I'm making this coaster. It happened like 5 times, and I was just so sick of it. And then also making the final concept of this, or actually the final coaster design, it also happened, but this time it wasn't the problem I had like before. So yeah, as you can see, I'm also like quite popular. Just kidding. People just want me to see their coasters when I'm in my server. Like, if I'm in my server, there are so many people joining up. I just can't stay in a server for like a moment alone. If I want that, I need to shut down the server, or actually make the server private for myself only. But I just don't have a problem with that, as long as it is like isn't constantly asking me to see stuff. Because I'm also busy with my park. As you can see here, the Wi-Fi just turned out for the first time, I think. Yeah, here it is, black screen, joining back up, because my Wi-Fi just went down, and just completely moving on. So yeah, as you can see, it also takes a while to load up this park. Saying that, we have reached 1.52 megabytes. I think I can finish the park entirely, maybe even have some space to add some backstage stuff, but that's just completely for the end. Also, another reason why I scrapped this layout was I just thought the Immelman just looks really big. I just want to keep it small. The only thing I want to have big is like the big coaster, but I need to actually take into account making this roller coaster. And this will actually give away what I will be building in the back. And what I was actually planning to do, I wanted to make have like an L slot of land space available on the edges of the park that hasn't been occupied yet, to build a big coaster. And I think I might have said a little bit too much here to like say what it actually is. And yeah, they just yeah. If you know what I want to build, or if you understand what I mean, you know what I'm going to build. Probably after this dive coaster, to actually see how much space I have for like the last area. Because yeah, this is actually the second area, and also the second to last area, because after this area I only want to do one more area, and after that I think the park is completely finished in my eyes. But yeah, so yeah, I also was thinking of making 2 coasters in this area, because we have one thrill coaster here, which is obviously this dive coaster. and I also want to give something for like the smaller audience or the smaller guests to have. So I was thinking of maybe a junior coaster in some sort of way, like De Kleine Zag, which is a Preston and Barbieri junior coaster. It's just a simple coaster. Or I was also thinking of like a one from Zamperla, I think it is, like I don't know what's it called anymore, Brazilian buggies in Bellewaerde Park. I just think those can be really fun for kids, also nice for a first roller coaster, and then this area will also draw more people to it, also extending the time people will spend in this themed area and just not walking through it to go to like the other area, which will also be like again family focused. So the eventual goal of this park is to have 3 children's coasters or family coasters, children coasters, junior coasters, junior coaster or family coaster, and then 2 thrill coasters. And one of them is like this B&M Dive, and the other one is the one that I'm placing in the L shape, also from the same manufacturer, which will give it even more away. But yeah, people also wanted to see this. Like when I mentioned to Dev I was building this, he actually wanted to see it. He's also still expecting something. I just haven't told him that this coaster is finished. There aren't actually that many people that know that the coaster is actually finished, although maybe there is, because at the end when I was actually finished, a lot of people joined the server. But yeah, also going back to where I got my reference from this coaster is the majority of this coaster is actually inspired by Valkyria in Liseberg. Liseberg still being one of my top tier parks to actually visit. It's high on my bucket list now that I have done Europa Park. The next one on the list is actually Liseberg, which is quite crazy because Liseberg is really far away. Not that far. I think it's like a 14 hour, no, it's longer. I think it's a 24-hour drive, including a boat for some reason, although I do not live in the UK. I could also take the bridges, but that is also quite expensive. I think it's quite expensive, I don't know. But yeah, as you can see, this it's just Valkyria is just my main inspiration for this coaster. Yeah, actually every dive coaster starts off with an Immelman, except for Oblivion and Diving Machine G5, which just have a drop underground and then a turn into the brake run. But for the rest, every other dive coaster starts off with an Immelman, and then the element after what came after this is actually inspired from Valkyria and Liseberg, which I really actually like. I think the element is actually looking great on that ride, and then the last element in this coaster also inspired from that. So yeah. Also, the last element is a little bit of a combination between like the last version of Valkyria and then the infamous roll of Radafrex Shasa going upwards into the turn, which I think looks great on the coaster. And also while building this, I hadn't planned anything out, and while building this I came up with great ideas. One of that was also another diagonal station, but then remembering, oh yeah, if I do the diagonal station, there wouldn't be automated flooring going up. So this station needs to be on grid, sadly enough. Otherwise I would have done it off grid underneath the chain lift, which would also maybe have resulted in a different kind of ending of this coaster. At the moment I do really like the layout of this coaster. It's not too long, because dive coasters are mainly focused on being the short, because the gimmick of this coaster is the dive element. Recently been to Efteling, actually today of recording, I went yesterday. Went on the renewed Baron. It's been open again for a week, and it was also not on my planning because, funnily enough, the trip we planned was planned, or actually, everything was planned the day before, in the evening. So it also came unexpected, but I mean, a theme park is a theme park, and I went and I was thinking I could do Baron finally see everything that they added. And for once in my all the times I've been to Efteling, I finally liked the park because there were barely any scaffolding to see, only at the entrance a little bit, and then some fences around the new attraction they're building. For the rest, there was nothing. I could finally see stuff. Everything was open except for Max and Moritz being in maintenance, a yearly maintenance, so I was okay, that can happen. And yeah, I finally was able to ride the Vliegende Hollander again after not being able to ride it for 2 years, and also being one of my favorite rides in the Efteling. So, and also being able to see the new scenes of that coaster. So, and because this coaster was also built the same day we got the tickets, I could also get some reference material from Baron 1898 being the same model, and that's what I did. Not for everything, because the part of the Immelman, Baron wasn't actually quite running 100%, because the supports to the Immelman weren't visible because of the amount of smoke, which was crazy. They just didn't turn off the smoke machines. It was constantly running. And then also, funnily enough, one of the flashing machines for the picture, for the on-ride picture, just wasn't working. So when it eventually got dark, the pictures were just pitch black because the flash didn't work. So yeah. Also, what you see me do now, you will see me being here a lot because I was just looking for a way to end this coaster. I just couldn't find a good way to end it, because what I just had right there would result into airtime hills back to back, and I was thinking that just doesn't feel right. So yeah, then I was looking for some different ways, a lot of different ways to connected, and then I finally got an idea that worked and looks great, and it also works great with the pacing of the roller coaster. So I need to say I'm glad with the layout, and I think the theming will just be a little bit of like the same way I did the Zierer Family Coaster, having lots of buildings in like the pathing area, and then some nature here. In this way it will be some mountains, palm trees and stuff, and yeah, maybe even some small huts, or I don't know what's called in English. I'm just sticking with the word hut. Huts on like the mountainsides, because it's Hawaiian themed, and also already got a name and a logo for this coaster. Me not being the best graphic designer, I asked, I think this time it was ChatGPT. This logo has been in my library for a while, because I generate really early on, since when the part I knew what I want to build, and then I just generated the logo and a name, and it uses AI, but the logo looks great, and I think that's totally possible when making this, because if I needed to design the logo for every ride, I would still be busy. It just takes a while to do that stuff. Also, right here we're getting very close to like the final solution of this coaster. I think I don't have it on footage, but at the last inversion the hard lining was off, so I need to redo it with another pivot offset, also replacing every track piece after the change in pivot offset to like the track piece with the same pivot offset, because otherwise you would have an ugly track connection to the whole track. yeah, that has just been done off screen because I just wouldn't want to struggle around with all that kind of stuff. But yeah, as you can see, there was a lot of redoing in this coaster. Like the attempt you see right here, that was just 2 hours long, and the stuff that was before that was also like another hour to eventually get to the finished result. And I was really glad I finally had the result. And here you see a little bit of red Frixelsa inspired element. I just really liked it, and I think it fits great. And then you can also see some space left for the turnaround, because that was the most important part for me, to actually have a little stroke on the edge to place the hypercoaster, although it isn't a lot. I just needed to have a turnaround, and it will probably be like in the same kind of style of Mako and SeaWorld Orlando for the first half, and then in the second half, I don't know, it will have a mid-course brake run and stuff. But yeah, now the coaster finished, and he saw Tizzy doing some building a slide, because he was looking at the playground and he was like, I could build something for you. Then he insisted I place that in the playground, but I said I didn't want it, or I have not said I don't want it. So Tizzy, I just don't want it in the playground, because I just love custom playgrounds more. So yeah, and here you see me some fine tuning. Oh yeah, you can see me changing the pivot offset to make it look more realistic when doing a hardline roll. In a wing coaster wouldn't have mattered, but in a dive coaster it is. And you can see the ugly connection, so I need to change the pivot offset of like the whole turn, redoing it. And yeah, that's basically the whole coaster, and with that also the episode. So right now I will take you on a ride on this coaster in the real-time part. So see you there. And welcome back to the real-time part. Yeah, as you can see, the only thing added this recording session or episode is the dive coaster. And yeah, I'm actually really happy with the design. I wanted to have the path like go here, and then actually split it off, so there could also a ride be here. I was also thinking of like a freefall tower. I don't know, we have the family freefall, so it would be a little bit much. I will see what I will add here. But yeah, as you can see, you also still have this slides. He actually has 2 designs, so yeah. If you want it, just let me know. I'll ask this if I can put them on the workshop for you guys. And yeah, then the actual dive coaster, as you can see, the station. I just wanted to have these platforms here so you can actually board the train and ride the coaster. But yeah, while we are walking a little bit, we still need to wait for the train to actually finish that. Let me just jump quickly into this one and go into the on-ride camera. Let me also give myself a free crumb real quick. And let's take a ride. This is actually one of the new gen B&M Dive coasters with a beyond vertical drop actually. So yeah, enjoy. And that's the dive coaster layout. While building this, I also was building this version. I was also thinking of like Outlaw Run, because Outlaw Run has like 2 hardline rolls going up into the brake run, which is actually quite insane. But yeah, that's basically it for this video. Let me I just want to know if you like this layout enough, but let me know in the comments. And yeah, with that said, I will see you guys in the next episode, stream, or whatever. Later.